I found out you had a channel. I subscribed right away.
Well, I appreciate that.
And no problem, no problem there.
How are you doing? Are you
I'm
eating
good. Thank
well?
you very much. I'm good. I just finished doing my platform. I did 2 shows today, and when we had the audio trouble, I was already off the air. I was just talking to a couple of my guys a little bit about what we're gonna do next week for the football, and I said, let me wrap this up with you guys, and let me go talk to you. And I just came right back over like I. So, what is your platform about? So, mine is sports and manosphere stuff.
I would say that mine is about self. More or less understanding different point of views. Because I think
Nice.
understanding other people helps you understand yourself better. Like if you have someone that annoys you, you gotta
Mm-hmm.
really wonder why they annoy you. What
I
is it
feel
in
you.
you that something about them annoys you? When I was on the live, I had played a clip and it was like, who's the biggest liar? Men or women? I think we share the blame. And if we look at it in a biblical sense, there one sin is not greater than the other. So regardless of if you're a bigger liar or not, if you told the lie, that's where you're wrong. Got to stop pointing the fingers and decide where you as a person is going to stand. Are you going to stand with things being the way they are and you thinking that someone else is going to change it, or are you going to make the changes? Oh, it's 11:11.
Yeah. One thing that is lost in relationships is lost now. Okay. That's a big, big detriment now. Also, the most important thing that's lost, in my opinion, is trust.
Mm.
If, especially with the sisterhood, this is black women, they already get a foot, half their body out the door when it comes to a black man. Part of it is they think that we are conquered. They feel that they start a life together. And I think it's sad because living here in New York, you see that a lot. You don't see too many black men with black women. Black women all date out here. A lot of
Mm.
brothers just go to work, go home, play Xbox, whatever.
So
You
do
know,
you think that the big disconnect is because we do have a social outlet that we don't have to really depend on any one particular person?
I think the disconnect comes from television. I also this social networking because the women had a head start, and I don't mean to sound cruel, but let's be honest. A lot of black men can't read. I remember when I first got my first desk
But
computer.
but but see how you said a lot of black men can't read, but I would think that of those black men who can't read, they had to come from parents who couldn't read.
Maybe it's because the young boys wasn't taught, or they're lazy. They think that listening to hip hop and saying that stupid street lingo is the way to go, and it's not. I also think the disconnect is television. I think that plays a big part into it.
But you really think it's television? Because television's been around a long time. I think is more than television.
I think the images they portray, you don't see black men in good things.
I don't think that they put a good light on black women either. It's been a minute. I don't
Why you
think
say
that
that? I'm
either one.
curious. Lovely,
Okay,
why you say
let's
that?
go. Let's go with the reality TV shows. That is definitely not a good light for black women. That's not a good light for any woman.
I totally agree. I don't watch reality television, but I don't watch TV, period, unless it's a sporting event. And I half watch that.
Now it's like I rather, I guess get my little drama on TV, and I know they kind of, pull strings and stuff, but to me that's just made up. They're
So you
doing it.
think all this, so you believe that making all these black women look ratchet all the time is fake?
Yeah, especially when they can edit and you can make the narrative look a certain way. You can take a clip, you can play with film. I mean, we're all playing with film now. They've been playing with film. So of
Mm,
course they can make it look a certain way and
okay, let me
only
ask you.
show certain things. See, they're not going to show us when they actually get along and they're having a good meet. Why every time they
That's
get
my
together
point.
there's an
I
argument?
was going there next. Okay, continue,
Every
baby. You're
time they get
talking.
together, it's an argument. Come
Hmm.
on.
I will say this.
I don't know too many black women that's gonna keep going hang around other women they can't get along with. That in itself is an act.
Let me ask you this. 3 weeks ago, some woman blatantly down in Dallas filmed I forgot what they called it, a mixer, and showed when the place had no men there for black women. And people investigated more. Shout out to MTR, and then a whole group of men, interracial, some black guys, went to that event. Why would you think that young lady would do something like that to make black women look bad?
Because I think everybody's trying to just make everybody look bad. If I make you look bad, then I take the finger off of me. Ain't nobody
Interesting.
looking at me if I'm pointing at you.
Make a good point.
So the men keep pointing at the women, and the women keep pointing at the men, and no one's working on each other, and they wondering why it don't work. Well, that's why. So if I have to keep telling you what you're doing to me that's wrong, and that you're not treating me right, how many times? I think if once you done got to a third time, that if you're not charmed by the third time, you have to, say it's you.
Okay, let me ask you this: who you think dislikes one of each other more? You think black men don't like black women more, or black women hate black men more?
If I was from outer space and I came here
Yes,
at this particular time, I
yes.
would have to say that black men dislike black women more.
Why? I'm curious to hear this. I think it's totally the other way around.
And I say that because of the how they've treated them. They've treated them like that the women are at their disposal. And now they may be mad because women have had a certain opportunity, and now I'm tired of being at your disposal, and now I can do this on my own. I don't have to sit here and tolerate what you're giving.
All right, let me ask you this then. What do you think about black men who check out? To explain it deeper to you, sweetie, black men who have given up on black women and given up on even being around black women, they just stay on their purpose, stay by themselves, rack up and stack up money, and just live alone in their beautiful brand new home that they buy. What do you think about those brothers?
That don't want to be with black women.
Yeah, they're tired of them. They don't date out
I
of the
mean,
race. Instead, they
I
check
mean,
out.
it's
They
no
just don't want to be
different.
bothered.
I look at it like this: if you've gotten to a point where you can't deal with this, or see what my issue would be is somebody who's self-hating themselves, and that's why they date outside their race.
No, no,
That's
I'm not.
I
I'm
would have
not
an
talking.
issue with that. But if you've been dating with your race and it's not working for you, you've tried and you've dated outside your race and you felt like you got treated better, I would tell anybody to go where they're treated better.
No, what I'm asking you, sweetheart, is the guy who just checks out completely. He don't talk to. He doesn't talk to no women. He's always by himself. All he does is
Oh, you
work.
mean oh. Um
Because black women to him is a big turnoff.
so but are you saying all women or just black women? Because if he's turned off from black women, then I mean, yeah, you got me stomped on that one, Mace. Because I mean,
Interesting.
if he doesn't, if he's been that crushed by black women and he doesn't want to deal with no women,
Yes, that
that's
type of guy. Yes, yes, yes.
that's deeper issues within him. Because if
Okay.
a woman done turned you off from all women, I think that's something deeper in you. And yeah. And I mean, there are people. Wait, but why do people think that we all have to be in a relationship with someone? Because there are people here who are to be by themselves and are fine with being by themselves.
I'm
Why is
gonna
that a
speak.
problem?
I'm gonna speak on the man's point of view because I know women think this way. Because I deal with it every time I go back to my old community. I think they look at guys like myself like a coward, and they always throw at me, "You couldn't deal with a real black woman."
Hmm? Wait,
I
so
get,
Mace, you telling me that you've checked out on all women because of a black woman?
yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. So
Hmm.
with you checking out, do you feel like you're missing out? Is it something that you want to do, and you just don't see it happening? Because if you're content and you're satisfied with where you are and how you are living, I don't see where the problem is.
I think from what I get is, how can I say this? Most women call me a waste because I guess they see so much potential in a guy like me, but because I'm not feeling it and I'm not interested, they just shake their heads.
Well, I don't think that they mean that it's a waste. I think that they mean more or less like it's a shame that they won't have the opportunity.
I've been called waste a few times.
But if you like living the life of a monk, I don't see nothing wrong
That's
with
my life. That's the life I live.
living the life of a monk if it's chosen. Now, if you're living the life of a monk and you feel like you're being forced to be there, then I would say that's something that needs to be worked out. But if you're choosing to be a monk, that's your choice.
I'm glad you for a sister. I'm glad you see that.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with when a woman says I don't need a man. I think that's wrong,
I think that's
because
insane.
there is a need for men, just like there is a need for women.
Let me say this. I'm gonna counter. I'm gonna agree with you, but I'm gonna go a step further with black women. So you don't need a man, right? So when they're in Cabo San Lucas or in Santo Domingo or San Juan, they don't have a problem with men there.
You know, but then it's also a lot of times we want something that we can't have. You know, just like, oh, okay, I really don't want to really bring up like a Kevin point, but if you are living in the ghetto, nine
Okay.
times out of 10, you're not going to get the high value man that they're claiming who are high value in the ghetto. Now, can a high value man come out of the ghetto? Sure.
Oh yeah, a
But
lot
he's
of have.
he's not gonna be living there.
I have a whole group of guys that left. I left.
So it's like, how are you gonna, so yeah, it's people who have not really looked in the mirror and they don't even know who they are yet.
You know, I said something yesterday that caught a firestorm, and I was talking about the Passport Gang. Most people know them as the Passport Bros. And I said, because I defend them a lot, and I said one thing yesterday, and I think it's very true. The sad part about them, and I forgot the Caribbean young lady's name, says Christina something, who was begging the guy Zoom from Thailand the other night, stop spreading for black men to leave, because black men are leaving in droves and they're not coming back. And the one thing I said about them, and I got a lot of pushback by them, is the one thing black men have to realize: when you leave the country, don't come back. Yeah, the bad part about it, and a lot of sisters don't realize this till it's too late. Your brightest, your bravest men that can help build the communities, the black community, they are leaving and letting it burn down because they feel that the women are definitely not going to listen to anything they have to say. Well, how you feel about that?
I think that a lot of people are just too self-absorbed, and as
I
long
would
as you're
agree with that.
self-absorbed, it's gonna be difficult, because if I feel like I'm at a certain status and you gotta say you gotta do something for me first before I even do something for you. Okay, if we waiting for someone to get it started, no one gets it started because I'm waiting for you to start and you waiting on me. We just gonna be right here,
Interesting.
stagnant.
Yeah, I do agree with that, sadly. Yeah, see, what I
I
can,
mean, there are people that do well when they're alone. They're more successful. That's why I mean, if you want to make it bad on people who are not getting married, what about people who aren't having kids? There are people who actually make a choice to never have kids. They can have kids, but they choose not to. Is that wrong?
it's not wrong, but it's not right either. Because you just
No.
said the reason why a
If you
second
live
ago.
the monk life, just like even in the Badlands, you cannot have a family. Even if we want to go to Game of Thrones, the
I
mid the
don't go
night
that deep, baby.
the men of the night watchmen, None of them had wives or children. They couldn't have wives or children. They were like, I guess you could say, like the misfits, or those who are like, I don't want that responsibility. I want to be a rugged man for the rest of my life. Because they had an understanding that having a wife and kids kind of softens you up. Now, would I be lying on that?
No, you're not. I was saying last night uh, that I live a ruffian lifestyle. And if you don't understand, the audience don't understand what they see. I'm in New York, and what that means is um, DS1 Ross doesn't like it because he's from New York too. He knows what it is about. I live, I was just telling the people on my platform tonight that here in New York, guys don't wear suits and stuff like that. And the reason is, and this is a sad reason, but this is a true reason. A lot of us ain't getting any women to take out. They don't want us. So hey, we just go back, wear our jeans, most guys wear Jordans. I wear Griffeys, and we just dress nice that way. I wear my button up, no collars dress shirts, but we go about our business.
And I think most men have to know that women are attracted to confidence. It is not even what you have on. Now, mind you, no, you don't want to go into the club or a certain area and you got on work boots when you should have on dress shoes.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making right there.
You don't want to go to the park in your dress shoes when you should have on tennis shoes.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making. A lot of brothers, we are blackballed, and I heard it's going on around the country that brothers are blackballed by most of these nightclubs. Now, they use the reason, the dress code, but, the guys came to their senses. I did too, but black women just don't want us there. And most of us, yeah, go ahead.
And I think that what Kevin wasn't telling the fellas is that, no, what a lady wants is she wants to know how to dress for the occasion.
That's the point I was trying to make to you. That here in New York, especially guys over 40, we don't wear the dress clothes, the suits. When guys get paid, they buy 2 pairs of Jordans every payday. They buy about 5 pairs of jeans and T-shirts.
That's where their priority. If you're trying to get a girl who might want you to put on a suit or might want you to wear a pair of slacks, or if you're a jean and a T-shirt guy, then they got jean and T-shirt guy girls. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go to the gym to date a guy. I don't care for buff guys. You get what I'm saying? Why want a buff guy to lose muscle mass? Because I don't like all of that.
Okay, I understand that. But let me get back to the occasion thing. To you, is there a turnoff when black men rather dress the way they want to dress? And a big part of the reason is because they think their enemies do dress for the occasion?
Who doesn't dress for the occasion? We dress for a job interview. We dress for work. We dress for a wedding. We dress for a funeral. There are occasions where we put on certain clothes that we don't wear every day. So
and
there
you think it looks bad. Let me ask you this. Same topic. You think it looks bad for black men when they don't know how to dress for occasions?
I'm not going to sit here and say that black men don't know how to dress for occasion. I would say that the ones that are complaining about not having a suit or complaining about meeting women who want them to be in suits, that's who I'm speaking about.
Yeah, that's my point. Yeah, I want when these
if
guys,
they can afford to buy 2 pair of Jordans and 3 pairs of jeans, I mean, 1 week can they not just buy one pair of them, and it'll clothe your whole body and not just your feet.
The complaint.
And that's only one. So if you're getting 2 pair of Jordans every week, not getting 1 pair, 1 week getting 1 pair and getting a suit, and then you don't have to get no more suits, I think that's a fair deal just to have one in there. But it's really not about the suit. It's about it. Are you willing to make necessary or certain changes for that person? And if you're not, then that's not the person for you.
I would agree with that.
that saves a lot of trouble right there. So, if I was dating someone and, they wanted me to cut my head bald and I don't want to wear a bald head and I just can't see that happening, then that's a deal breaker.
Agreed.
But knowing is half the battle. So when you know that there's something wrong and you can make those changes, you make those necessary changes. What are your times that you're on the most? Because I usually see you
Anytime
just
between 7:15 in the evening to like I've been cutting it down lately, but on like my usual hours is 7:15 to like 3 in the morning. I can be on from 7:15. I've been doing some different things. Like lately, I've been coming on at 8:30 at night and shutting it down at midnight. Like I did tonight, I shut it down at 11:30, so I can get 3 hours in. Come up here and say hello to this beautiful lady. Now, what? How did you name yourself LovLee? Why?
Okay, so I have always loved to write. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was in junior high, that's how I would sign my letters.
Mm-hmm.
LovLee. My friends would call me Lee.
Okay.
And one day I said it and it was an epiphany that it was wordplay. And I liked the fact that I signed my letters lovely. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever I said, I ended it with lovely. And then when I started doing spoken word, that became my stage name.
Nice.
And
Nice.
then as I got older, then I added on the piece. And it's a reminder. I think that, your name is big.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
especially, I think a name that you get to choose, it should be
Mm-hmm.
one that you're willing to stand on.
You're right. I agree with that.
Because we're not perfect, but it's always to remind me to be kind.
There you go.
Kind.
Well, I'll say this: you're terrific. I am flattered and honored to be up here to talk to you for a moment. Definitely do this again, and I just want to say thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
Appreciate you.
You have a good night on
You too,
purpose.
sweetheart. Good night to you too. Good night, everybody.
Well, that was very nice of Mace to come and spend that time with me.